Hello and welcome to Gabbitt Media. I'm Grant Abbitt, in case you didn't know already, and hello, yes sir, you're in already. Well done. It's nice to see familiar faces as well. Anyway, today I'm making a dagger, and I thought because I've just been sort of given a job by Atlas Empires, another job. I get sort of sent things every now and again, so I thought, right, to fit it in, I need to do it straight away. And it's a nice little one-off job. There's a few little one-off jobs, and I'm doing one of those today. So going to have a bit of fun doing that. Hello all, caffeine injected Bluetooth. Hello again. How do you all? Do you just sort of waiting for a live stream? It's immediately there. So I didn't even advertise this one. It's good to see you all though. It's great. From Cape Town, JD. Interesting stuff. Yeah, let me know where you're from. I'll get started in a second. I'll just wait for a couple of moments just so everybody can join in and say hello and things, and then I'll get started on this low poly hand painted dagger. Now, many of you might be thinking, where is the character workflow? I'm waiting a bit on that because I've just started working on Blender 2.82, and I've heard in the grapevine that they're changing the multi-resolution modifier, and I just wanted to check that before I move on with the character. Also, I wanted to test a few things as well. Hello Depopo, hello Zed, and hello Ian Knight from Brighton, Louisiana, USA, Pelcher there, Ian, Mayan from Texas. God, there's everybody. It's just fantastic when you hear of all these people from all these different places. It's great fun. Anyway, so we are making a low poly dagger. And do you know, I haven't really got in my head exactly how I'm going to do this. Here's my reference images, and I've only got 4 here. Here's the one they sent me, and they said they want the logo icon, to look a bit like this. I'll zoom in on that. So it's very sort of basic to start off with. They probably don't really want much from me, and in fact that's on the thumbnail, isn't it? So you can sort of see that quite easily, I assume. Oh, smoke sims in the new Blender, is that a problem, is it? I imagine there's loads of glitches that it's going to be a bit of a pain for the first few weeks, maybe first month. There'll be loads of tiny things that they'll have to sort out. Just having a look at the stream and laughing at what people are saying and things. Okay, so these are my reference images that I've got, and I've only got 3, which is pretty poor really, but I just thought, do you know, I want to do this quickly, but I'd like to do a live stream as well. I kind of want to just jump in and do lots of these things to try and get used to the best format and the best way to do it. I keep messing with my hair because I keep seeing this one little bit sticking up when I look at the screen. It's just sticking up there. So sorry about that. Good to see 3D in the title. Yes, yeah, that it will be turned into 3D, don't worry. Could you do a stylized wood procedural texture in Blender? I've done one actually. It's not stylized though, actually. No, I've only done a normal one. Cornwall Unleashed. Just let me know if the sound's okay. I'm not going to mess with it too much, so if it's slightly quiet, then don't worry about it. But if I'm echoing or something, then let me know straight away. I'm assuming that would have popped up already if that was an issue. How long do you think it will take you to make? That's a good question. It's always a tricky one, especially when I'm live streaming. I think I should be able to do this, a good quality, low poly dagger in 4 hours. Now, I'm not going to spend 4 hours today, but that's my own work, this Shobi and Schwartz Joses. Anyway, yeah, I made this cube. It's fantastic, isn't it? I call it default. It's all fantastic, the jokes that come up with the default cube, isn't it? Anyway, so if you have a question, then make sure you @ Grant Abbitt, and then I can see it turn up in orange and let you know that... what am I saying? It will make it clear that I need to respond, sort of thing. Mic's all okay, that's good to hear. I plugged it into a different socket, and it seems to have made the difference. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? I'll probably do a video about the kit I'm using and stuff, because it's fascinating doing this live streaming. It's just great fun. Anyway, let's get on with the show, shall we? Okay, so we certainly want a symmetrical dagger, because that obviously, one, you can cut your texture space in half, and you can sort of do everything in half. I know that sounds obvious, but it's when you're texturing, you want to cut the workload down, don't you? No, I won't be doing this for 4 hours. I'll only probably be going on for 2 hours maximum, maybe even only 1.5 tonight, because I just thought I'd get online, say hello to everybody. I'm kind of addicted to live streaming, to be honest. It's a bit crazy, really. I'm using Blender 2.82, yes. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah, usually I draw a little, maybe a diagram in the background. Reference image, and put it into the background. I'm not going to use a reference image in the background because I think that could be argued that that's starting to play with people's copyright and stuff, so I don't want to step on anybody's toes there. How many polys will I go? This will be interesting, won't it? Okay, let's get the auto mirror going. Sometimes it's always a tricky one. Do I start with a mirror? Do I start with a cube? Do I start with a plane? All this sort of stuff. But seeing as the default cube's there, let's go for it. Oh, I better put my shortcut keys down the bottom there. Well done, JNM. He's done some shortcut keys there, and I use them all the time. Cool dude that he is. Okay, so do I want to do it in the X? Yes, I probably do. Okay, so I'll just start with the base of the dagger and go across. So I'll chop this up a little bit. I should do this in wireframe actually, because then I can easily grab these and pull them around and just get a really rough shape. I'm thinking a sort of a bulbous end. What do you call that? A sort of rounded end. Haven't decided yet exactly how this is going to work out, but let's grab these faces. I suppose I ought to inset these slightly. Now, inset, when you do that, you've got to have your boundary turned off so you get the inset. Hopefully you can all see this in wireframe. Is that all right? People doing all right? Hello from Croatia, Milan Caracas. It's good to see you live, dear. Thank you, Sayed Rashid Athar. Or is it Attar? I don't know. I love your voice. It's so relaxing. Maybe I'll put a few people to sleep because it's getting late. So it's 7:20 where I am at the moment. I dare you to shout as if you're angry. That's not going to happen. I don't do shouting unless I'm on the football pitch. And then I get a bit too rowdy. That's the one time. Okay, let's extrude that out as if this is the handle. So just really block out the shape for the moment. Let's extrude and scale outwards. Oh no, I haven't set my scale, have I? So you can see that's extruding out. Oh no, I did. I didn't change the scale, did I? So that should be fine. Good night. I need to go to bed at like midnight. I don't know what the time is where you are. So no way I'm falling asleep. Okay. Oh, I'm assuming you go to bed. Oh, sorry, I'm reading it wrong. That is one of my problems. I tend to read these things wrong because I am dyslexic. But I do okay. It's not like severe or anything, but it's obviously something that I have. Anyway, where am I? Let's move these into position. Should we have an interesting sort of shaped dagger? I reckon we shall. So let's. Okay, I'll do that in a second. Don't rush ahead, Grant. Don't rush ahead. Inset there, and this is going to be the blade. I keep pressing 1 to go into front view, but it's side view I need to do, isn't it? So we'll have a curvy blade. You can control right click to make a sort of to do that. Do you see what I was doing there, extruding and coming out? So there, low poly dagger, job done. Do you know? Weirdly, it probably would work for an icon, but let's play with it a bit more than this because I just want to be creative. I want to let loose the creative juices that are flowing around my body. It's all sounding a bit weird now. Okay, let's get this hilt. Not hilt. What is this? That's the hilt, isn't it? And this is the handle. Sorry, my brain. It probably is a bit too late for me. I probably shouldn't be live streaming, really. Just going to grab that upwards, rotate it really slightly, and scale it a bit. Somewhere around there. Now, when you're hand painting, it's a good idea. Can you see that these are slightly off alignment? That sometimes helps you when you're hand painting. So that's actually weirdly a good idea. Not all the time, but it can help. So handy hints coming out. Oh, you're glad you tuned in now, aren't you? There's all the best stuff coming out, isn't it? I'm just sorting out the shape a little bit. And let's have a look. It's kind of fun, isn't it? Now, generally, with low poly work, I mean, it's debatable. It depends what's going on. But for hand painted stuff, you don't want to go into a sharp corner and sort of a long slope into a sharp corner. So what I'm talking about, if I just quickly go across to here, workspace and, options, sorry, not workspace. So this is the, active tool and workspace settings. And under there is auto merge. And if I press GG, good game, and pull those in, can you see this sort of long, thin slope into nothingness? Have to be a little bit careful of those when hand painting, so watch out for that. Banana sword. What? Storm. I thought you said sword, like the sword that is. Oh, there. I thought it was someone was suggesting that this was a bad sword, but it's an awesome sword, and it's a dagger actually. Dagger. So I probably need a bigger handle if people are thinking that it's a sword already. Probably needs to be a bit bigger. Let's Control plus there. Scale up a little bit. I must be going a bit tired because I start making weird noises, weird voices when I go tired. Actually, do I want to rotate that? I don't think I do actually. It's got a sort of cutlass feel, but now I feel like I need to scale this up as well. Just one thing leads to another, and then you've got just twice the size of everything, haven't you? Favorite weapon of the Jaeger clan? Didn't you reply on my comment on Ducky 3D vid? Not sure actually. I might have done. Grip and pommel. Pommel, yeah. So what's the hilt then? What is the hilt? That's good point. Good point. Anyway, yeah. So let me know whether you're liking the shape. I need to sort out the end though. Oh, I forgot to undo that bit, didn't I? That's the problem when you're live streaming, you get distracted. Well, the easy thing, you can change these things around quite easily, but actually let's go to a point and see what it's going to be like. I'm going to sort of point there and a point there. That looks freaky, but we can just go, okay, knife cut across there, and now we're back to pretty much where we were. So let's go to top view here and move this out a bit. Now I think we want to bring these ones in a bit. So I just had a drink, so I'm burping a little bit, and probably not coming across in the stream, but that's why I'm going like this sometimes. Never mind. Hopefully no one's going to capture that and turn that into a meme or something. No one would be nasty like that, would they? It's a good friendly community we have here, so no one would do that sort of thing. Oh, actually, that I didn't quite fix it, did I? Because do I want a triangle at the top there? It's always tough, isn't it, to triangle or not to triangle. What's that on my... You got a spider or something. GG. Bring these in for the blade. It is a good idea to have sort of an idea of where you want the sharp part of the blade to be, because then you can start texture painting in a different colour. If I bring my references back down, you can see that this one, for example, and in fact all of them are, this very sort of separate section that sort of comes in where the blade is. Very cool. The grip could bend too. Yeah, it could do, couldn't it? Yeah, I mean, it is on this one quite nicely, like this. It could go the other way, like this one, actually. That looks pretty cool. And I like this one as well. I'm tempted. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, I've just pressed Control R, and it's done something to grabbing the Z to my Pure Ref as well. Ooh, that's kind of fun, isn't it? This looks weird, though, what I've done over here. That's supposed to be some sort of ball, but I shouldn't go too far because it is just an icon. We've got to try and get this done. This is the fun bit about having a live stream, isn't it? Because you get instant feedback. Now, what do we think? Is this... The back end looks a bit weird now, doesn't it? Let's get those as well. Rotate that. There we go. The dagger, remember. So does this look like a dagger? No, the hilt, what did someone say earlier? This bit, Someone said what they were. No, it's gone now. Oh, you'll have to say it again. This bit is too small at the moment. Oh, I've got that vertex there. Look at that. Oh, control click. There we go. And scale it up. I think it actually probably needs to be more like this, doesn't it? Actually, let's look at the reference images. Yeah, more like that. And this one looks a cool reference image, and that's got more going on there. Oh, I'm going to have to start messing about with the handle as well, actually, now, I think. Have I got all the vertices there? I wanted to say vertexes. I always do that in my videos, and then someone says, actually, it's not vertexes, it's vertices. And fair enough too. Do need to be corrected every now and again. And then I can just blame it on my dyslexia. You see, and then they feel bad because it's like a disability. Anyway, what am I talking about? Oh, I don't know about that. Is it looking a bit odd now? Too much curve on the hilt. Oh, how dare you, yes sir. Criticise my work like that. Oh, that's right. It was pommel, wasn't it? Someone was saying. It's a pommel on a sword. I don't know. I'm liking it to a degree, but I'm not liking what I've done here. I was only joking, by the way. Yes, sir. Thank you for commenting, and I wouldn't want to suggest that you do otherwise. I'm not sure what I'm saying there. Just talking for the sake of it. That's probably why I'm addicted to live streaming, because these people actually want to listen. You actually want to listen. Oh, hello, Milan Caracas. Thank you very much for your donation. Thank you for the nice tutorial. Is there any particular tutorial that you enjoyed? Let me know. I'm doing one at the moment. I'm continuing that sort of hard surface modelling thing, and I've gone for a logo, so you can sort of make logos in 3D, and that sort of continues the theme of the hard surface model and stuff. I'm probably going overboard because I need to start painting pretty soon, don't I? But let's have some fun. Gotta have some fun, haven't you? Grab these three, GG, slide them in. I'll go fairly close actually. This one isn't close enough. There we go. Okay, how are we looking? Funky or not? Vertice as singular form of vertex. Yes, indeed. I say that too, though, I'm afraid. Just anything, nothing special. Thank you, Milan Caracas, for your donation to the channel. And yes, I'm glad you're enjoying the tutorials. There's something, I'm enjoying live streaming, tutorials. It's just all great fun, and it's really great that you've supported me with that as well, because it makes a massive difference. And thanks to all those that donate in other ways. Some people after the stream come on to PayPal and things. Really appreciated. Massively appreciated. Now, what's going on at the end here? Oh, look at that monstrosity of topology there. That's better, isn't it? There is a triangle in there. Don't be ashamed of your triangles. Especially with low poly work, you can get away with them. Don't worry. I'm just sort of looking at the end there. I don't want to go too stupid with this, though. About there. Hang on, let's go to solid mode and see what's going on. Cool, that is a bit too tight in there, though. G, then X, and just make it a little bit wider. There we go. And this one here. See, I don't want it going up the middle there. Is that making sense? So just out there. And actually, I want to get all these ones. And they shouldn't really be flat on like that. Hopefully, I'm making sense. And just bring them down a bit. G, then Z. Just so there's that sort of really sharp bit of blade there. Oh, it's super sharp, isn't it? And be careful, otherwise I might cut myself whilst making it. Okay, I'm not sure about my hilt. It looks a bit weird, doesn't it? Where's the pointy end? Where did you find that special glove for the tablet? Well, this came from... actually, where did... This was... these guys get sent tablets every now and again. And this one was from Huion. So usually you get it with your tablet. But you can get them online, just a graphics tablet glove. I think they're only like £3 or something, so pretty cheap. And it helps. Even, I mean, I only use it on my display tablet. So look at this editing genius here. Oh, there we go. Look at that. So you can see it's nice and flows across my screen nice and easily. So when you've got a display tablet, I think that's quite important. I don't worry too much when I'm using just a normal graphics tablet. But as people did point out, you've got lots of oil on your skin and things, and your hands might be just a bit dirty. I know you're clean people out there, but they might be a bit dirty, so you might just like I say, the oil, it will all add up. So a glove is helpful. Cool, lots of questions. I get non-stop critiques on my work all the time. Animals tutorial many times. I'm working on low poly dog for a project. Nice one, Jeff. Don't be ashamed of your triangles. Try the handle more low. Okay, more low. So, this part of the handle more low. I'm liking it because I'm looking at this reference image and I quite like the highness of that. Your Highness, the highness of that. But I think it's more to do with my hilt that's going wrong. Let's get back to wireframe and play with it a little bit more. I think maybe it needs to sort of come in there like that or something. Maybe it is a bit high actually. Maybe it is a bit high. Maybe it needs to be just a tiny bit thicker. So I'm just going to grab that there. Okay, sort of getting there. I'm going to curve it around now. So if I go to 2 edge mode and grab that edge there and G then Z, it is pulling down my hilt a little bit as well. Or what? I don't know. I think it's called a hilt. My brain. Is that the pommel or the hilt? Or I don't know what's going on. Let's get this lot in there as well. Oh, thanks, Charles McDonald. You're back. Oh man. I think I'm going to have to ban you from donating. It's just getting ridiculous now, isn't it? I don't have enough words to say thank you. I know, I really appreciate it. And howdy to you too. Where are you from, Chance McDonald? It's very, very, very kind of you to keep supporting my channel like this. If you didn't know and wondering what I'm going on about, Chance McDonald comes along all the time. Pretty much whenever I've done a live stream, he's been there and he's donated. And even more than this at times as well. So it's just amazing. Yeah, good man. Thank you very much. Yes, Red Alexia back with another live stream. I was saying I'm a bit addicted. I think it's becoming a problem. But I had this. I need to get on with this, and I thought, I could probably have a bit of fun doing this on a live stream as well. I just sort of see this going to curve around and look nice. Because it's just more fun when you've got people to chat to about what you're doing and they're actually interested. Whereas, try and chat to my wife, but nah. I'm only joking, of course. But she's not particularly interested in Blender. I don't understand it either. Anyway, let's grab these. I'm probably grabbing the wrong ones. Let's full stop on my numpad to zoom into those. Oh, my mouse is going a little bit weird there. Let's try that again. Get those ones. I'm trying to give it a bit of a curve shape now. And just line it all up so it looks a bit more interesting. I feel like something needs to happen here. I'm probably going to put some sort of jewel in there and... what am I doing really? What am I doing with this? Maybe it can just be one big ruby or something. But then glass is really awkward to paint, so that's probably a bad idea. Scale from the knob to the hilt in X maybe. Ah, yeah. Thanks. That's a good point. I can probably get this middle one coming around here. Circle select these ones and scale those out in the X. Thanks for that. Good point. Oh, it's not scale, it's G then X because you can't scale when you've got a mirror on, if that makes sense. In fact, this sort of needs to be a bit more rounded. GG. Oh, that's GG that way, isn't it? That's not going to work that way. Let's just grab in the X. I don't need to GG there, do I? When I say GG, that's called edge slide, in case you weren't aware. So it slides along the edges nicely. G then X. And maybe put these up G then Z. How are we looking? It's kind of looking fun, isn't it? But I think this bottom bit is just unnecessarily over the top. If that makes any sense. Oh, I've gone out of edit mode. So select, Alt left click in case you didn't know, delete and dissolve edges so you can get rid of an edge flow like that quite nice and easily. Okay, let's just, because I need to simplify this, don't I? It's fun to play around, and I like to also with my work try and experiment just a tiny bit each time I do something, and then I develop as an artist, hopefully anyway. I've just noticed I left my webcam on. That's all right in the corner there, I suppose, isn't it? I probably need to move this across just a touch. And then my webcam's stuck in the corner there. I mean, it might not be necessary, but it might actually. It's getting a real nasty shine from glare from the ceiling, isn't it? That's pointless anyway, isn't it? Webcam off. There we go. Best movies out there: Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and Grant Abbitt's Blender tutorials. Thank you very much. Have any spaceships coming our way? Do you mean as in a hard surface modelling tutorial about spaceships and things? I'm sort of half thinking about it. Topology is the big question. And I was talking to Zacharias Reinhardt from CG Boost today. He's got a great course, a beginner's course. Check the link. I think it's in the description anyway, but I'm not sure. Because he's really well. If you haven't heard of him, what are you playing at? He's brilliant. And we were talking topology a bit, and he was giving me some advice on that and saying, is it that important? And I suppose when you're teaching it, it is, but it's very, very tough, isn't it? To get the right balance sometimes, because I want the teaching aspect there, but I also need to make it fun and exciting so people will actually watch it. So there's a fine balance. I'm just going to make it sort of bulge out a bit in the middle there. The dagger, that is. Anyway, going a bit odd now. Okay, so I think that looks all right, doesn't it? It looks a bit of fun. Because remember, you can hand paint a lot of these things in. So the handle will have sort of a hand-painted leather strap look. I'm still not sure what to do at the end here. I'm thinking... Actually, I'm going to smarten this up a little bit, because just thinking about the hand painting aspects, I think I'm going to grab this in the x-axis and flatten it up. It's still got a curve to it. Let's get that one, side view. Just grab that so it looks like it's going in a bit of a curve. So we've got a curve going around. Is that working? I suppose that what I could do is grab these and actually put them in a circle. So right click, I've got loop tools enabled and put them in a circle. There we go. Now I can be a bit more precise with my circle. I'll do the same for these, I think, just so it's definitely in a circle. Those don't necessarily need to be in a circle because, again, you paint the circle, as it were. Why did that mess up so badly? Let me just see what I've done there. Oh, it's because of these. Yeah, it's not the right topology. You can't do that. But I just want this bit to sort of be there. And I am actually going to change the circle slightly. But I can paint the circle on. That will make more sense as we go through. I'm just fiddling with this. It's kind of pointless what I'm doing. So again, you can paint it. Sort of deciding in my head what to do with it, really, more than anything. But I think that's going to be good. I'm going to make it a bit wider though. G then X, so it comes out away from the handle. The handle is a little bit wide at the moment. So grab those. In fact, no, don't do that. Grab those. And G then X. Now, some people are saying, I really like your live streams because I see your mistakes. And that's, there's lots of them. And you can kind of see that. So I suppose it's showing the workings, isn't it? And that's often the issue for many people. So it's a good thing that I'm experimenting a bit. I've got to experiment because am I making sense? Trying new things, experimenting, you develop as an artist, and in a workflow you should be doing that. So don't expect everything to be polished. I think you understand, don't you? Anyway, I think that's all right dagger, isn't it? It's looking pretty cool. Kind of fun. Let's get ready for unwrapping. Okay, so let's go to solid mode for this, so you can sort of see the dagger in its full. Actually, now I look at it in solid mode. This bit here needs to go in the Z-axis a bit. We need a bit more of a circle and a fuller blade, hilt, pommel thing. I'll get there eventually. G then Z. I'm just evening it out just a touch. G then Z. So I'm trying to look at the stream as well. Lots of people on, actually. 224, wow, that's a lot. I'm just sort of seeing the chat then, and lots of people on. The famous case of the Mona Lisa. Yes, Ben, Leon, good point. With the Mona Lisa, they think he painted over it 4 times before he was happy with it. Exactly that. And I myself am such an artist. I can't quite hit those heavy heights, but you are quite right. The masters changed and edited just as much as we beginners. Probably more so than us beginners, actually. Let's be honest. We probably settle too quickly, don't we? I'm just tidying up. Now I've seen it in solid mode, I'm just tidying up a few things. So I'm happy. Okay, so it's looking alright. Is it looking alright? Let's have a look at the reference images and think, is this okay? It's kind of a crucial stage in a way, isn't it? That and it's important to make sure you're kind of happy with it. I think this should do, shouldn't it? You shouldn't really say that this should do. That sounds bad, but it will do. Now, in a way, you can actually get rid of triangles like this because I could sort of drag that up to the top because it's triangulated in the end anyway. I should sort of cut down here instead and have a triangle there. It doesn't matter because we're not too worried. And when you're thinking about that detail in your polys, I don't think it's that important these days with processors, even on mobile games and things like that. It's surprising. Thank you very much, yes sir, for looking good. As in, do you mean my model or me? Oh, I didn't realise. You mean the model? Oh, well, okay then. More rounded edges. It's low poly, red elixir, so we're trying to keep it all very low. And because what's going to happen is, in fact, let's go to solid mode now. It will go to this, and then I paint the highlights in. So that's why we're always using smooth shading, which will come out in a bit later on. Would you take a look at my car model? Yep, post it on the Discord server is the best way. Just @ Grant, and then I'll be able to take a look. I'm happy to do that. It's quite good fun, really. Mark seams. Oh yeah, so what I'm doing here. So there's an obvious seam between where the blade hits the hilt and here as well, obviously, where the handle hits it. So mark seam there. There's an obvious seam around here where the handle hits the that bit. Control E, mark seams. So that's what so it's Control E is the edge menu, and mark seams is just there in case you're sort of following along a bit. Some people do that afterwards, actually. After the fact, they sort of follow along suddenly. I'm a bit worried about that bit there, actually. How am I going to sort of draw that in? Let's just have a bit more of a look. I'm just going to do a cut in here because I might have to, I think. Let me have a look. Now, you're probably thinking, what's that triangle doing there? You might not actually be thinking that, but it's okay. It's just a little triangle. It's not going to hurt anybody. Okay, that will just give it a bit more of a roundedness. I think I might need that, but I do need to sort of tidy this edge up here at the front a little bit. Let's grab these two, grab them this way and scale them inwards just a touch. And I think we're back to where we should be. It's looking all right. Okay, so we've unwrapped, we've marked seams on those bits. There's obviously going to be a big seam down the middle. I mean, I can mark it, but it's naturally there anyway because there's a mirror. Oh, thank you very much, Michael F. That's very kind of you. Enjoy all you do. Been a fan for a long while. Really great to see you close to making YouTube full-time. Yes, yeah, it could easily be a full-time thing now. Excuse me. Because of the support of everybody, people watching an advert and all those sort of things. It's really amazing. And I don't really have an excessive lifestyle, so I don't need too much to support me. And I haven't got any kids. I think that's a big reason I'm able to do this. And it could easily be full-time. I'd obviously do the part-time stuff like I'm doing here, freelance, and part-time teaching, because I do still like teaching, and I still want to be in on the teaching. It's quite, yeah, there's something about it. It's you can have that face-to-face chat with students, which I'm kind of doing here, which maybe this will take over eventually. But thank you very much, Michael F. Very much appreciated. Okay, so, so question, Unleash 75, not going to apply the mirror, or is this only going to be a one-sided model. Now, there's no particular reason for me to apply the mirror in this case. You would apply the mirror if this was in game, because you want to export it and all that sort of stuff, and your game engine might not support mirrors and things. I don't think any do, so you have to sort of apply it. But I will apply the mirror just in case I want to do a highlight across the top and it's bleeding over to the other side, and I want to actually, having said that, I probably won't, because it is just, let's have a look again, it is just a front-sided logo, so there's no need for me to do that. So I'm just reading the chat. Hello Frank, nice to see you there. Your message was held for review. I'm not sure. I thought it looked like something that it shouldn't be. Yeah, that's why your message was held for review, Frank. You're in the gym, Polybloom. What are you doing in the gym? Well, in fact, quite good for you. Get in the gym, people. Get down the gym. I think exercise is tremendously important for artists, because we spend a lot of time sitting down, unless you're standing up and doing your artwork, which is good. Oh, it's a sword, Frank. Yes, it is. Anyway, let's go to the unwrap. So let's go to the UV editing workspace just here, and select all, and press U to unwrap. Now I can press just unwrap like this. There's other options in unwrap. You can smart UV project, and you can see what the smart UV project would do. Always have an island margin of about 0.06, I always find. And that cuts it up loads. So that was what the smart UV project would do. I could easily do that. It's not really a problem, but it's easier to work with bigger islands later on in the painting phase. So if I go to unwrap again and unwrap, we've got this here. Now let's just have a look at this. And can we sort this? You can get plugins for this. Add-ons, I should say, not plugins. Oh, what happened there? Let's unwrap that again so I can get my my disclosure box there. And let's put this up to 0.6. 0.06, I think I want. There we go. So you can get add-ons for this, sorry, is what I was saying. And they will pack your islands as best they can. I think it's called Island Packer, in fact. It's not good, but it's not calming. Oh, you're a meanie, Frank, aren't you? Where are we? So this bit is the hilt. So I can let me think. Right, let's move these off to the side, and let's move this so we can get the most out of it. So I'll just grab this banana here, whee, and put this over here. Can I do better than Blender for unwrapping? Yes, I can. So I've just scaled one part of it up. I managed to get some more out of it. So let's scale this bit up. See what we can do here. And scale this a bit up. And scale this a bit up. So I've managed to pack in a bit more. So you can go around, edit them a bit, and pack in a bit more space. And therefore, we can utilize our UVs a bit more. Okay, so the next stage then, have I done everything? I feel like I'm rushing through this and forgetting to do something, but I'm getting a bit more used to it. Frank's doing a pirate ship at the moment, so he's, everything's got to be pirate ships with Frank. Hi everybody, I'm just here to say MS Paint is miles better than Blender. Bye. It's the tool I should be using, but it's just so complicated for me. I can't really get to grips with it, so I have to stick with Blender, which is much simpler. Okay, let's where am I? Yeah, texture painting. So we've got our UVs ready, so we're ready to paint on it. So we go to the texture painting tab here. I ought to save my work really, hadn't I? Save as. It's on a different screen. I'll bring it down. Well, you might see my files, and then you'll find out the secret project I'm working on, which actually there are a few that I'm not allowed to disclose. Interestingly enough, where is it? I can't find my files. There you are. Come on. Oh man, I always find Blender, when it goes to the file manager, is always a bit more tricky to find things. Why is that? Why am I so pathetic? Anyway, Blender files, Atlas Empires. I can bring it down now. You can see what I'm doing then. So this is me organizing my stuff. Here's the icon page. So I'm going to go to icons, and we've got a new icon for. I feel like that's wrong actually. Let's just go. Put it into icons, and then call this. What icon is it? In fact, I don't even know what icon this is for. we'll call it dagger icon because they did tell me it's for something in the game. If you want to know more about the game, there's not a lot on their website, not a lot of information, but you go to atlasempires.com and you can see what's going on a bit and what they're doing. Dagger icon 1. So that's my complex naming system, dagger icon 1, and then I'll put 2, 3. Occasionally I'll put paint ready or something like that, but this is pretty straightforward and simple. You can see also I've got to do a bit of an outline to the just got an itch on my foot, to my dagger as well, so I'll probably do something in the background, but I'll do that at a later date. Okay, so it's turned purple. What does that mean? And don't be rude, Frank, it doesn't mean what you think it means. Oh, Frank's off for dinner anyway, that's all right then. So I'm just looking at the messages down there. That means it's got no texture. So you can see up on the side here, this is in the texture painting workspace. With textures painting on there, we've got no textures. So I always get the same sort of questions coming up. Oh, why is it not working? Basically, everybody wants to know why is it not working. But you can see, I'll try and go through the reasons why it isn't. So let's add a base color. I'm going to double the resolution, so 2048 by 2048. Let's start with a mid-grey color, so that's sort of silverish. I don't know, yeah. And we don't need the alpha on, we can turn that off. And I better call it something sensible like dagger color. There we go. And press OK. Ooh. Okay, so immediately it turns grey, that means it's got my texture. I always like to pull down the texture tab and get the shader editor out, just there. And press N to get rid of that panel. And there's my dagger color texture, and it's hooked up. I think one of these options, oh, it's not there anymore. I think it threw someone, and someone was asking, what does this mean? Because I think it added a texture and didn't hook it up to anything. Oh, it's the title of the stream wrong, is it? Oh yeah, it says full character workflow. Oh no. Oh dear. I appreciate that actually. Thanks for that. I'm first person to say anything. See, people are too nice to say. They're thinking, oh, I came here for the character, but I'll stick around for a moment. Dagger, low poly dagger, hand painted. Dagger, hand painted. There we go. The painter painted. Save. Hopefully that's gonna update. It's not updating for me at the moment. Oh dear. Anyway, thanks for pointing that out. Oh, it is updated now. It always takes a little while. I appreciate that, Mimu me. If you've got questions, then at Grant Abbitt, and then it will come up and I'll see it. So just got an XP Pen 22R. So that's the artist one, the display tablet. It sounds really good. That I haven't had a chance to play with that one. Maybe I need to contact XP Pen and say, send me one to test out, and then I can sell it on afterwards. That's another way I support the channel. But I do reviews, and they're useful to people, hopefully. They're quite good, though, aren't they? Marcello, is it? Magalaus. Anyway, yes, doing a full character, starting with their dagger. It could have been, I could have just gone with that. So, yeah, the full character is coming later, but we're doing his dagger for the moment. Good point. I do some 2D work. I'm not too amazing at it. Not that I'm amazing at 3D, really, I suppose. But I like to do it. I like to do lots of eclectic things. So I'm sort of a jack of all trades, master of none. End up doing lots of different things. So yeah, 2D stuff. I did a 2D live stream recently, so you can see my sort of simplistic 2D models. So I'm just having a look if there's any other questions there. Anyway, let's start painting then. So the best way is to block out to start off with. So let's just see what's going on with the stream here and the setup. Oh, just minimizing these windows. You don't really need to see this, but you can see that if I bring my dagger to color, it's got the dagger texture in, but that's behind me. So it's not a big deal that it's behind me. I don't think that'd be a problem. I could move me. Shall I move me? Nah, that's all right enough. Okay, so I'm onto the Wacom tablet now. I mean, is this camera the webcam gonna work? Is this up in the corner there, and you can see me working, but it has a real glare because I only realised my light was glaring loads, so you can't really see much there, can you? That's not particularly helpful. Camera or no camera, what do you think? I'll take this moment to answer a few questions. So we're coming up to 8 o'clock. So I probably won't get through the whole thing, but we'll see how we get on. Thank you very much, Andy Heather. You're a wonderful teacher. Your students are lucky. They are lucky. They don't know how lucky they are, my students at college. I wonder if there's any of them on now. That don't say if you are, because I'm not allowed to communicate with you outside of lessons over the internet, even though there's like 250 people watching. So it's not like I can get up to anything, is it? But don't say if you are. Anyway. Oh, you like the camera. So that's one vote for the camera. I deserve my own channel on television, don't I, just Chris Stone, 1989. The joy of 3D painting. Indeed. Big hug from Brazil. Love it. From Lucas. I'm actually trying to set up my Artist 12 for 3D, and I'm struggling with being able to adjust the viewport whilst there's a middle click option to set for a key. You should have your middle click on this pen button here. That's a definite, yeah. Tablet cam can be distracting. Yeah, I thought my camera, bigger screen to see what I'm up to. Will I do a tutorial on shading? What sort of shading, Depopo? Hello from Greece. Hello, Bill Bag. It's funny saying people's names. No cam is better. Yep, I'm tend to agree with you. I would tend to agree with you. Yeah, off with the camera. I just like to be able to do that and go, oh look, I've got a cool little webcam there. But I suppose it's handy if I point to the screen every now and again. What video card do I use? Someone transmit this. That was it. A YouTube, not a YouTuber, but someone on YouTube saw me doing the tutorial videos and stuff, and he donated me a GTX 1070. So that was really cool. Anyway, so really handy with painting. You can press this button here, and then you can just select certain faces. But it's best to just go to edit mode first and press L for linked. Wait. Oh, I mean, I'm not in face mode. L for linked. There we go. And it will select that area and do a great job. I'm just suddenly thinking I've got my mirror on. That's fine. I can keep the mirror on. It's not going to be a problem. But what if I want to use this for something else? I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I suppose it'll be interesting to test out what it's like and the limitations of having a mirror on if you do the same. Do you know what I haven't done? A little notch in the blade. That's what I need to do. I'm going to quickly do that now and then unwrap again because that just always looks cool, doesn't it? A little notch in the blade. All the cool blades have it. Let's have a look. So there's one there, there's one there, there's one there. So you've got to have it. Those are my rubbish reference images. Not that they're rubbish, but my rubbish amount is what I mean. So let's go back into edit mode. Let's go to layout. That's probably the best way. Into edit mode with tab on my keyboard. And I think maybe a notch right at the end here. The easy way for notches. And then what is the easiest way? Yeah, it's there's a couple of ways, you see. Delete those faces, select those faces, and then we can just select one of these edges and press... Actually, can we press F to fill? No, we can't because there's no substance to it. I think, hopefully you know what I mean by that. So I'll have to extrude these in the X-axis inwards like this, grab X inwards, and then we can get these two here and fill. Okay, so we have a big... Oh yeah, and this one here as well. That one there and fill. It's looking a little bit weird there because it's not in line. Can you see that? Let's go to front view. I mean side view, sorry. And yeah, let's grab this. GG for an edge slide there. GG. There we go. Now we've got a big notch. I think we need though for this to come out a bit. So G then Z. Oh, that is the Z there. Sorry. And this way a little bit, just a bit. So it sort of notches in. I'm not sure I'll explain myself there, but I'll paint a sort of cut in there a bit and stuff as well. Is that enough of a notch, or is that too big a notch? It's a very big notch. It looks a bit like the blade ought to fall apart a touch. So I'm going to bring these. Oh, get to side view first, and just bring them out a tiny bit there, like that. I think that's a bit better, isn't it? So we've got a notch. I feel like there needs to be one around here, a smaller one. So I'm going to do that again. K for knife tool. Cut, cut, cut. Some people are sort of fearful of the knife tool. Don't fear the knife. The knife tool. Because it's really, really useful for doing this sort of thing. You just have to use it all the time, really. I know I've got a massive end gone. Doesn't matter too much. It will be triangulated. And it's on a reasonably flat surface. When end gons are on a flat surface, you can get away with it. But it's not actually a flat surface. That's pretty bad. So E to extrude, in the X, pull them together. And then grab those two, F to fill. Actually, what am I doing? I just suddenly thought, F to fill there. And let's get this point. GG, edge slide it. Now, because I've got auto merge, it will merge them together. GG. And we need to do the same with the other notch. GG. I think someone said a better name for notches the other day, but I can't remember what it is. There we go. Just checking that's all alright. Yeah, you see that? We're starting to see that triangle. It won't come out. As soon as we start painting, it won't come out. And we should be right. But if we're in doubt, we can always get those two. And J to join. Because there's a face there already, you can't press F to fill. You have to J to join. And you don't really notice it now. Although you do this side. This is starting to get a really thin triangle though, isn't it? There we go. Is that alright? And into object mode, or you can sort of see it in the light, but again, when we paint it up, it'll be fine. N gone, thank you very much. An N gone, so a multi-sided polygon, N gone being N the number of edges. So it was originally an N gone before I put this across there. Now it's a triangle, and triangles are okay-ish. N gons aren't really as bad as some people might make out, but they are pretty bad. Okay, so actually what I need to do here is back to UV editing. Can we all see the screen all right? U to unwrap once again. I'm going to lose my editing. So what I need to do, it's only this sort of weird banana bit here that I need to unwrap. So what I'll do is I'll grab the end face there and I'll go Control plus all the way down to the end there. So I've selected all those and then just unwrap those. Ta-da! Right, now when I select all, and I come up to, islands here, select that island, and I can rotate it and put it back into position. Somewhere around here. Let's see what questions people have. I use a Wacom Mobile Studio Pro, which you can see. Hold on a second. Ta-da! The Wacom Mobile Studio Pro. Oh, I just looked at myself whilst I was doing that. And it's my teeth. They sort of shock me every now and again. Not sure if it's okay to ask here, but where can I find a teacher who will help me to finish my very own project and answer my questions for some monies per hour? Maybe you can. I have thought about that and I have done in the past, but I'm quite expensive, to be honest, because my time is reasonably expensive. Trying to run a YouTube channel and all that sort of stuff. Hopefully I'm not sounding arrogant there, but my time is relatively expensive. Depends on your needs. If you're really into sort of texture painting in Blender, then maybe I'm your man. And I do offer that sort of thing, but like I say, it's fairly expensive. There's probably other people, if you go onto a Blender forum and you look at someone's portfolio maybe and get to know them a bit, then maybe ask around there. Might be a good idea. Any chance we can get a full series on UV unwrapping? Yes, there is one already. I have one on my channel. It's got a fence post. It's not a series as such, but it's fantastic. You wouldn't believe it. It is amazing. I need to organise my website a bit more anyway. The title of the stream is still wrong, is it? Oh, that's a shame because I have updated it, but maybe it's sort of a refresh will do it. But yes, it is wrong. Sorry about that. It is meant to be low poly dagger hand painted. Have I ever seen Substance Painter? Yes, I've done a video about Substance Painter compared to Blender for painting, and Substance Painter generally is better than Blender at the moment still, because it's a specific tool. Let's go back to the texture painting tab now. Wow, there's lots coming from you. Elina, is it? Elina Hottie. Trying to go overboard with your post. Do I have a tutorial for exporting from Blender into Unity? Yes. So just, if you search Unity in my channel, it'll probably pop up. Okay, so where were we? Text painting. And oh yes, that's right. So if we go into edit mode, I can then select a certain section, such as this with L on my keyboard. So L, in fact, deselect first, and then press L, and that's link select. So it will select the things by their seams. So you can see there's a seam there, so it'll select this area here, and then I can fill it in with some paint. So let's get to text painting, and let's find a sort of, I suppose a reddy brown is the classic, isn't it? The reddy brown ropey sort of thing. So somewhere reddy brown. So the browns are here, and the reddy browns obviously towards the reds over here. And this is the sort of colour I'm coming out with, nice sort of base colour there. And then I press this button here, which, what's that called? It says paint mask. Yeah, so it's paint mask. And then use the fill. Actually, I'm just going to, because I'm on the draw brush at the moment, the colour will disappear. So I'm going to create a new palette and add that to my palette there, and go to the fill brush. Can you see how it changed the colour? Then I can pick that and fill it in. Oh, and can you notice it looks horrendous? Go across to the look dev mode, and it will look a bit better, and then put the roughness right up, and we've got a better look now, haven't we? Now there's one thing that I do like to do. I sometimes like to control shift left click, and that puts it into this mode, which is out of an emission. So this is exactly what it will look like in engine, as it were. So you've got that, but this helps me to see the edges, so you can see a few more edges with the principal shader. So control shift left click, you must have the node wrangler for that to happen. So edit, preferences, add-ons, node wrangler ticket, and then you can control shift left click, and it puts it into a viewer node, but that's just an emission at 1. There we go. Okay, so let's, I think a gold handle and a gold hilt will look cool. Yeah, worn age look for like the blade notches, definitely coming up. Jason of the Great Awakening, love that name. Red Elixir. Aligner is a bot. So how can I get rid of the bot? Yeah, I'm wondering. So here we go. Where is this? Put user in timeout. Just remove. Sorry, Aligner, if you're a real person. Who's going to be around for a while? I'll make you an admin. Let me know. Oh, they popped up again. That's weird. Oh, I'm just removing. Oh, so hide user. Sorry, hide user. There we go. Now they won't pop up. There we go. Okay. So if anybody's going to be around and they want to be an admin moderator person, there we go. They're hidden now. Ah. Show no mercy. Yeah. So if you're going to be around for the whole stream and you want to be a moderator, let me know. And say, I'm not a bot. I'm not a bot. This weird. Who would bother? A bot. Bot creators, why are you doing that? What's going on? Spam bot got daggered. Love it. Anyway, so yep. Let me know if you want to help me out and be an admin. Then you'd have the power, the moderator, sorry, and then you'd have the power to get rid of these nasty people. Can I be a mod? There you go, Andrew McSim. Hold on. You were first there, but I can't get to you because the stream keeps going up. I couldn't press your name. Add moderator. Now, with great power comes great responsibility. Try and let everybody talk as much as they want, unless they're a bot. And generally, I'm not worried about a bit of rudeness, but any nastiness we must be careful of. Okay, let's get back to the editing and link select this one. Now watch out, because I've link select that one as well. So you should Alt A first and then link select. Often do that, and then I fill in a color and it's filled in my other bit. Oh dear, what a nightmare. Okay, so let's go back to paint mode, text paint mode. With this button press, remember, now I can find a nice silvery color. So I like to go slightly bluey. And I'm looking at my reference images. Some of them are bluey, some of them aren't. So somewhere around there. It's a very sort of dull grey at the moment, but we can make it look better than that. That metal's tough. So I sort of have a think about this. Should I go for the darks first? Probably mids. There we go. And add that to my palette and fill it in. So we got the blade, and then we go to the other bits. Text paint mode. No, sorry. Edit mode. Alt A. Link. Thanks for all the offers of people being mods. I appreciate that. But I've made Andrew McSim a mod. They got there first. He got there first. I'm assuming it's he, with a name like Andrew. So back to text paint mode. If you're going to leave us, Andrew, let us know, and I'll create someone, make someone else a mod. Back to text paint mode, and we want the hilt to be gold, so we'll come across the golds over here. Now this looks very muddy gold at the moment, but when we get a bit of gloss to it, that should look alright. Although, is that orange? Do you want to go a bit more colourful? Possibly. I probably need to look at some. I think I've got some on my Pinterest. So not Pinterest, PureRef, I should say. So this is my PureRef for Atlas Empires, and there's just loads and loads. There we go. There's some gold stuff up here. There's a sort of gold texture there. Oh, why can I not? But I updated PureRef recently, and now it's gone kaputski. I don't know what that means, but it's gone, and I can't click on stuff. Oh no, it's all got there. See, that's really handy, isn't it? Can you see that's? So I'll just come back to that in a bit. Anyway, I wanted to show you the thing, but it's just going wrong. But anyway, I know where that gold is now, so I'll probably look at that every now and again when I'm painting the gold, because that's really handy to have those sort of things. In metals, I still struggle with them. Painted loads, still struggling with them. What software is this for your mood board? That is PureRef, it's called. They just updated it, and it's being really problematic. But that's always the case when they update things. And anybody struggling with Blender 2.8 yet? I bet there's a few out there. I've seen some already. Alt A first, Alt A, then link on my channel saying, "Oh, I've downloaded Blender 2.8 and this has happened." It's not surprising. It's bound to, and they can't test it on everybody's computer, obviously. So, sorry, no, I thought there was something going on in the chat. You told you were going to add a gem to the end of the handle. Reminder. Yeah, I'm thinking. Oh, I'll probably put one in the middle. Yeah, put one in the middle. That would look cool, wouldn't it? I think. Yes, I'm still thinking about it. Let's have a quick look at, will I need to change the topology at all? Maybe. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to go to layout mode quickly, into edit mode, full stop, or period key on my numpad. I always say full stop, I'm afraid. And I'm going to make that. So the easiest way is to, not yet. Wait for it. These here, I to inset. It should, if in the UE editing, if I select all, it should be okay with a bit of edit like that, because that's an edge slide as such, an inset. So it should be alright with that sort of thing. In fact, do I need to do that really for my gem? Let's have a quick think, because I'd like to bring that in. G, if I could do that. G to grab in the X. And then maybe have it come out a bit. G then X. Do you get the idea? Oh, that's probably a bad idea, actually. I'm just going to paint it in. Because you shouldn't really be doing that after the fact, when you've done all your blocking out. But yeah, thanks. I'll put a gem in there, and it'll be a wonderful gem. Don't you worry. A little skull with a gem eye. Oh, that's tempting. I've got to do a skull for another icon later, so I might leave that. Try and keep it simple. How are we doing for time? So we got 8:15. I was going to go till 8:30, but it looks like I'm going longer. Perhaps till 9 o'clock. See how we get on. Okay, so we've done the blocking out. Let's go back to texture paint mode. And why has it changed to that mode there? Let's go across to look dev and out of the face mode. Now we can get in and start doing the nitty gritty, which is the fun stuff. Okay, so let's also, hang on. Oh, I'm in UV editing mode. That's why it went weird. I didn't realize. There we go. Right. Cool. Okay, so we can see a bit of shading discoloration around the place, which looks a little bit weird, but that's because, like I say, we're in that look dev mode. I'm going to... I won't do that. Let's just save my text, just in case I anything stupid like that again. Where's my save thing gone? Right, so when I save my textures, I'm always putting it in the same folder as the Blender file. And dagger color should be fine. There's only going to be one texture, isn't there? A crystal beetle. Can you not add the gem, etc., as a new object? I mean, yeah, I could do that. That's very true. That's a possibility, actually. I might do that. We'll see how we get on. I have a Mobile Studio Pro 16, but never stream from it. Do you take a vid out via USB-C to a second streaming PC? I've got a Mobile Studio Pro. Oh, I've got my webcam up here again, haven't I? So, but this is plugged into my PC, so it's just acting like a Cintique at this moment. I think streaming from it and doing Blender at the same time, if you've got anything slightly high poly or high texture, I think you'd struggle with that one. Did you tell me to say, sorry, I read Alexia, I missed that one. Yeah, keep reminding me to save. I better save the whole file, actually, shouldn't I? Save as, and then, so when I save, I usually just do the old +1 there. And that adds another one. Let's get rid of webcam now, because he looks a bit silly. Right. And I suppose let's try and create a bit more space across here. We probably want to see a bit of this, though. Okay. Let's think about this then. Let's just start painting. Let's go for it. So I'll turn this off now because I don't need to have any masking, and I'm just going to get in there and paint. So first of all, highlights and shadows, that's the easiest way. And the easiest way to do that, to be fair, is with the multiply brush for the dark bits. So press F, multiply, in the center there, because the multiply can affect the colors. And then just go around. Oh, I'm on the fill brush. Thinking, what's going on? Panic. With the normal brush, change that to multiply. And in the middle, because like I said, the multiply can affect your colors if you've colorized it. Hopefully that makes sense. And then just a bit of shading, so that light generally, when you're doing hand painted stuff, comes from the top. So you'll want some shading. Oh, that's too strength down. Oh, now they've got these weird new buttons. So I zoom in there. What's this one? Use unified strength. This is 2.82. Instead of per brush settings, the strength is shared across brushes. So when I change the brush, it should keep the strength. I suppose that's a worth one ticking, but it doesn't offer that much really. They haven't really done a lot of updating to the texture paint since 2.8. Obviously, they did a fair bit there, and it was really useful and very helpful. But yeah, not much has happened since really, and it'd be nice to see a bit more. So I'm just going across the bottom here, gently going across the bottom. And you might want to control left click there to see what it's actually going to look like. The problem is with the multiply brush is that it adds. So can you see it sort of added a bit there? Does that make sense? So it adds, so if I press again and again and again, it gets darker and darker and darker until it gets black. Okay, I might bring the strength down. Usually I do it about 0.2, but I'm not sure why I decided to jump that up so much. If you get any anomalies, then the smear brush gently can smear things out, although it's struggling. That's lagging loads. Maybe zoom in a little bit. Smear brush can help these harsh edges as well, although it is not doing much at the moment. It might be that it's quite high resolution. Let's turn the strength up a little bit. Okay, so the other way as well is if you come away from the smear brush, and now we can start using the S key, so sample that, and then I can just use that color. So take the multiply brush off and just sample colors and paint those colors in. But obviously I can't do that on the gold area with the red brush, so I sample this one over here, paint that, and that sort of smooths it out. That's sort of like a Photoshop way of doing stuff, basically. And obviously I've got the mirror, it's mirrored, so these are all on top of each other. This is just one side of the texture, so it's mirrored across the other side. You do get slight anomalies down the middle with that, and I forgot about that. Otherwise I would have turned the mirror off and done it. Just overlap the two, and it's and you've got the option of symmetry here as well, if you need to. So I probably should have thought a bit about that. Oh, don't need the red, so sample there, get the red, a bit around the blade there. Sample this one. So you can see I'm not using the multiply brush. Oh, Alt middle click as well, and that will zoom you in on an area. So yeah, not using the multiply brush because I've got this sample brush now, we'll call it. But I can then just go a bit darker if I want a bit more around here, let's say. And already we have a beautiful dagger. Looking amazing. Okay, so just thinking about the blade, so we've got to have a bit of light maybe coming from the edge here. And let's sample this colour and have a little bit of that grayness sort of coming down there. And then affecting... That's the trick with the blade, because the very tip of the blade usually catches the light, doesn't it? So you might want a highlight across the bottom there, but it is at the bottom as well, so it should be darker. So we've got that sort of issue to contend with, haven't we? I feel like I want to add another polygon there and there, just to smooth it out just a touch, which is a bit naughty again. You shouldn't be doing this after the fact. And then I'll have to use the knife tool here because it's on a what do you call it? Triangle. So the looped cut tool wouldn't work through a triangle. So I'm just editing it really slightly. Can you see that? Really slightly. Cut here as well. I know it's low poly, and normally I'd keep it low poly, but it's used for an icon, so just a little bit of. And you shouldn't really do this after doing your textures. If I did this and grabbed this and moved it, then it would warp my textures. But if you just add a loop cut, you're pretty safe. Hopefully I'm making sense to people. I haven't looked at the chat for a while, so I'll come across that in a second. But just a bit of a smoother curve, I think, is a bit more helpful. Now this one here. Now this is a naughty. I'm moving this one really slightly. Should I? No, I'm going to move this lot down a bit more. I'm holding shift as well, that helps. Yeah, there we go. That's just a little bit of smoothness there. I think it's going to help. So you can see this sort of shading going down here. Now, let me think how I'm going to do this, because I want the blade to be that little bit shiny, but it won't if the light's coming from the top. So one of these rare cases, we're going to have a light coming from here and here. How about that? So a tiny bit of grey down the middle there, because the top's going to be highlighted a bit. Just a touch. Okay, I'm going to sample this colour. So I've still got the mix on, and fairly low strength, somewhere around there. Should have been lower, but I'm sort of brushing very low. So my pen has pen pressure sensitivity, so it helps. Okay, so what are people saying? Looks like a mirror problem. Yeah, you get these sort of mirror glitches down the middle there occasionally. We should be all right with that, though. That's not a problem. Mixing the colour into itself. Yes, that's exactly it, to make it darker. So this red, for example, if I choose a dark down here, press S. If you press S and click like this, so I'm tapping my brush, but left click will say, that actually adds it to your palette down here. But if I just press S, can you see my palette changing on the side there? So if I move around the shape. So just S, but S and click will add it to my palette. Hopefully that makes sense. And then I've got this dark brush now that I can, with a lowish strength, I can then paint in areas. And I can always just darken it as well if I want to actually get a bit more of that sort of ambient occlusion look in there, which I do in some places. Probably turn the strength down a bit more though. What I will need to do a bit of is a bit of smearing around here. So it sort of smears it into each other. Can you see that? And it just gives it a little bit of a curved look. I mean, it doesn't hold up particularly well when you move around your object to somewhere like there. Can you see? It just looks a little bit odd, but a bit of smearing can help and just sort of blend it into the other object. A bit too much there though, can you see that? So you have to be a bit careful with this. Now my smear brush is going all over the place. That's the problem with the smear brush, you have to be careful of. So I'm going back to my mix brush and then sampling the colour and painting. So I did that all a bit quick. It's muscle memory and stuff. Do you always paint grunge on manually, or do you sometimes use tricks like baking ambient occlusion? Generally I paint it on manually. I like that sort of hand painted look, but there's no reason why you can't bake in the ambient occlusion and that sort of thing, and do it all procedurally if you can sort of thing. I feel like it's you can always tell, it feels like, if it's procedurally generated. Maybe that's just me, because I'm sure that AI will come out pretty soon and do it all for us, and no doubt. Okay, so yep, just getting that shading in a bit there. Now let's go to the screen brush. So I start off with a screen brush, and that will just give me that lighter color that I need. Don't have to use a screen brush, you can just choose. So in fact, I'll do it the screen brush on the handle to start off with. So make the brush fairly big, pressure down low to about 0.2, and just give it a screen over the top as if the light's hitting it. And certain areas, so it's a bit sort of non-pointy at the end, I've just noticed. Why on earth did I not fix that? The end's broken off. It's going to have to work. I'm just screening this. And screening this. So it's going to be really highlighted here. I suppose in a way it could be handy to have webcam up to see the way I'm brush stroking across the screen. So that might be helpful at this point. So I am going to just have him up there for a little bit. And move this across. So I'm trying to move the mouse on my screen whilst looking at my capture, which is not helping. Silly me. All right, let's bring that across there. How are we doing? Your instructions are always incredibly helpful. That's great. Will this stream be uploaded later so I can watch it? Oh, yes, indeed it will. Yep. Just having a look. Yep, so they're all good. No more questions. That's lovely. Now, with the highlight brush, it's going to be hit around the edge, but it's difficult to see the edge. So what I do, undo that, and that's when I control left click and actually be able to see my principled BSDF. So before that, I had the viewer node, and now I've got the principled BSDF. Could you do a video on how to animate? Yep, I've got a beginner series on that. So take a look. Let me know what you think. Now that's interesting. I'm getting some weird artifacts there. What is that? Specular. Turn it all the way down. There, it's the specular. Can you see that weird specular glow? With the roughness all the way up, should you get that sort of specular? I don't know. But the principled BSDF is pretty awesome, so I can't complain. See, it's still hard to actually hit it. So what I'm going to do is quickly go to Layout and right-click and shade flat. Back to Texture Paint. And now I can actually see where these edges are. You don't follow the edges precisely, but they're really handy to tell you where things are going. So always, oh dear, that's not very good, is it? So pinpointing these highlights. It's a bit wibbly wobbly that, isn't it? So I'm going to get this rough outline and then I'll have to smarten that up in a bit. So I'm going all the way around. Because even the bottom with its shading will have sort of catch the light in places. Yeah, specular. Yeah, it was the specular indeed. Now I've got the screen brush on, so I shouldn't be doing extra strokes like this unless it's at the top sort of thing, so that's okay. Can you see I've missed the edge there, which is not good. So actually I want to go here, and it's looking a little bit weird now. So let's get off screen mode, mix, and back to sample this color, and then we can rub it out. And that's like your rubber in a way, is that sample. Handy tips coming out here, aren't there? They're all coming out today. The only problem is I need to resample across here to get the right colours. Okay, can you see that sort of shininess coming out there? Sort of very rough still, and we're at early days. In fact, we are really early days. It's already half past. But we can see what's going on, hopefully. So I'll go, this time I'll use this, sample this colour, and I'll use that as my highlight this time. So I've still got the flat shading on so I can see what's going on. Now I'm going to go a tiny bit brighter with that. So this time I'm not using the screen, and I'm just using a brighter brush. It's easier to control, but it just takes a bit, you can't sort of brush over it and over it again sort of thing. Now this is why I like a display tablet. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm leaning across, if you look at the webcam, and I'm able to turn my arm. You can't do that with a normal tablet because you your hand-eye coordination goes. So you actually have to rotate the screen, and it's really awkward. Oh yeah, there's so Grant, you should check out this video called 100 Blender Tips you may or may not know. I haven't seen it yet, but I did see it with it came up on my feed, so I'll take a look. Can you recommend it then? Can you? I am lettuce. Cool name. Now, can you see what's going on here? It's quite hard to hit these edges because they are really fine and close together, so that you do get that problem sometimes with really fine edges, and the texture brush can't quite sort of see it in a weird way. So generally with hand painting, you don't make things metallic. Let's see what happens. I mean, actually, it sort of looks okay-ish, but it just makes it darker in this case. It could possibly work. I mean, I could take the metallic off there and paint a metal map in. It could possibly do that, but generally speaking, with pure hand-painted, if you can call it that, you do it with the highlights. Nice highlights, Grant. Thank you very much. Right, so just having a look about. Probably want to paint a bit of detail in a second. Are we going to have a gem at the back? I think we are. It's going to happen. Right, sample this a little bit darker. And let's go side view here. Paint a sort of circly shape in here. You can see I'm going fairly rough because it is just the shading. We're okay. That's okay. It's just my bad hand-eye coordination. Okay, so there's my... Now I'm going to use the multiply brush. And there's a reason. Because it's going to multiply this, but it's the stuff outside it as well. Hopefully that makes sense. So it looks sort of, gives it some depth. It will be easier when I, go off the shading mode that I'm on. Hopefully that makes sense. Just using that multiply brush, it's sort of building up slowly. I'm making this bottom section a bit darker. Okay, and that looks like it's got some sort of hole ready for the gem. Oh yes, the gem is coming. What colour gem, people? What colour gem? Now I'm thinking you'd think a red gem because of the red handle, but maybe we want some sort of other colour with this. It probably depends on the background. Thinking about the Atlas Empire stuff here, is you've got a direct influence in a game here, guys, because you're going to suggest a colour and I'm going to go with it. So they've gone for this green background in this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go for a sort of metallic thing in the background there, and it'll be some sort of shieldy looking thing. Blue, is someone saying. Purple, purple, purple. Oh, I'm thinking purple actually. Immediately that just jumped out at me because purple has that sort of regal, mystical quality, doesn't it? So anybody else? Will the purple go? Will the purple go? Blue might work. I mean, red is naturally going to work with this, and I can use some sort of red highlights as if it's giving off a bit of a glow. Topaz, or it depends how you pronounce it. Green. So we've got a teal. I love you, sir, you're my teacher. That's an interesting colour. Thank you, though, Mango Man. Emerald green, of course. A purplish colour. So we've had a couple of purples. We've had lots of greens. Oh, okay. Going for the greens. I'm surprised at that, actually. Sorry, I'm just looking at this. Opal. Oh, opal. Magenta. It's good fun. Come on, people. Your suggestions. Okay, it looks like it's between green and purple at the moment. So, votes in, please. Green and purple. I mean, there's been some other suggestions, but they've been the most common. Jade. Purple. Yellow. Oh, yellow. Now, it could work. Actually, yeah, yellow could work. Might clash a bit with it might be difficult for me to highlight it away from the gold. Purple, 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 purple. Green, purple. Looks like purple's coming through. It's nice to see suddenly lots of people coming out the woodwork. Because there are 250 people viewing at the moment. Well, 249, I shouldn't exaggerate. And they're all coming out saying things. So it's looking very much a purple. Haven't seen opal on a sword in a long time. If you mix all the colours, what will you get? Diamond uncoloured. That's incredibly hard to paint. I like where you're going with it, but that's a tough one. And it looks weird. As soon as you turn the corner, the refraction goes off and you can't paint it in. So anything that's see-through is a big no-no. Blood red. Oh, yes. Pink with a little unicorn inside. That's my favourite so far. It looks like purple. Are you streaming this on Twitch also? I don't know how to stream on Twitch, actually. Can you do both YouTube and Twitch at the same time? I had no idea. Is that possible? Can my computer hack it? I don't know. I want to get a new computer, actually, but I'm delaying because the RTX 3000 series is coming out soon, and I feel like I ought to delay and wait for that to happen. I suppose I could just get a new computer and then update the graphics card later, I suppose. But there's lots happening with Ryzen, isn't there? And the Threadripper and all that sort of stuff, AMD stuff. I'm right in saying that. It sounded wrong when I said that for some reason. Anyway, so purple. Let's find a purple colour. Somewhere around here. And for now, let's just block it in. I'm going to have fun painting this, I think. Oh, let's put the strength up a little bit. So very dark purple coming towards the... Oh, I'm on multiply. Thinking, this is darker than I remember highlighting. So let's mix. That will make more sense. Oh, that is it looks like there's some bad lipstick on there, doesn't it? But I am going to just paint it in as is for now. And it's all right if it has a bit of a mixture of that gold because it's reflecting it. So that's all right. Okay, so... let's go with the multiply brush because it actually looks like it's got depth, a little bit of depth at the moment. I'm just going to just quickly on rushing and thinking at the same time and trying to answer people. Yeah, the new graphics card are going to be better and cheaper, you think, do you? Ooh. I know because it's kind of major with Blender because they've got the RTX support. So a new RTX card it is a big no-brainer for Blender, really, I would say. Can you see? So I'm highlighting with the screen brush there. So yeah, it's kind of waiting for those to come out a bit. So already it sort of looks gem-ish, but we can get a bit further with the multiply brush now. And just multiply around here, especially at the bottom, at the base. That looks a bit too strong, actually. And a bit more. I'm going to make my brush smaller. F is the shortcut key for that. Oh, it's just fun, isn't it? I love this sort of thing. When it just slowly comes out and you think, oh, look. Which do you personally prefer most? Realistic shading, toon shading, or plastic shading? Not sure what plastic shading is. I like the sort of hand-painted shading is my favourite look, personally. But it depends what the object is sometimes as well, doesn't it? Okay, so we got a gem coming out there. Still not quite there yet because we haven't got the full highlight, but I'll come back to that. In fact, I suppose I probably can get away with doing it fully here, but just so you can see, as soon as you go really sharp with a highlight somewhere, as if there's a light there, then it suddenly pings out as something that's pings out. Do you know? Hopefully you understand what I mean. Now we need a bit of reflection in there because at the moment it looks plasticky and we want it to look glassy and almost metallic-y, as it were. Just seeing what people are saying. Nope, we're all good. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so to get the reflections you actually sort of paint reflectivity in a weird way. So I'm going to use the multiply. I'm going to come across here and change the colours slightly, so as if there's things being reflected. So like that's a landscape in the background. You get the idea? And suddenly it looks a bit more metallic. It's quite weird that. It took me a while to figure that one out. And maybe I'm still not there, you know, people thinking that doesn't look anything good. But it sort of curves in as well, these reflections. They sort of curve in like this. And then we probably could go for a tiny bit more screen at the top, but maybe put a bit of blue in it. As if there's some clouds, or maybe shiny bits over here. And look, it looks sort of glass and reflective. Makes sense? Oh, is that now? That's interesting. So the different monitors, calibrating monitors. I'm using this Wacom Mobile Studio Pro. That's, you think with Wacom it would be awesome, but I feel like the whites aren't true white on my Wacom in the default colors, and I'm finding it very difficult to adjust them so they are, if that makes sense. It's quite a frustration, really. I feel like there could be the need for. No, I think we're right. I probably need to smarten the outside of that up as well, but there's lots to do. Excuse me. Right. Yes. So maybe in the blade area, I need probably I went a bit too far there too soon, obviously. And can you see how weird it looks from the side there? But it will be seen from the front, so that's all cool. But yeah, that's why you need to actually build the shape. Hopefully that makes sense. Right, so where are we? We're at running out of time a little bit. So let's get that multiply brush and just start highlighting a few edges. Coming in here, a few edges in here, and a few down here. So it sort of separates the objects in a way. That's always the trick, is going across a mirror, and that's why you shouldn't really mirror your objects, especially if you want this to be sort of used in game, as it were. So you don't mirror, and you instead so you separate your mesh. I mean, I say that you don't mirror, but that's obviously a technique that used in the old days of mobile. I say mobile, but actually just games, hand painted games, and you'd really, ideally these days, just paint with symmetry, and then you can turn it off. That's kind of key, really, I would say. So there's the symmetry there, but I'm not using it because I have actually mirrored just to save a bit of time. Because like I keep saying, it is for... I'm just having a look at this. It's sort of working. Let's go back to flat shader now. It is for an icon, really, not for... So back to shade smooth, texture paint. The back is looking a little bit weird, and it might be hard to polish up a little bit because it's really chunky. I think we're going to be all right. Probably have to do a bit of work on that anyway. So have we got all our highlights drawn in? I suppose at the back here is where we haven't got the highlights. So let's go to the screen brush quickly and just paint a highlight up the top coming around here. Oh, I'm on blue still, so don't really need to be on blue. Up there. It shouldn't really go white. Should have gone yellow, shouldn't I? What was I thinking? It should probably be alright though. It's not too bad. Oh, still on screen brush. Careful, that's too far. Because metals should be reflecting a certain amount of their own colour, and that's what makes them metallic. Apparently, I think I'm getting that right anyway. Always wonder that when I'm actually painting them though, whether that really holds true sometimes. You sort of just, I don't know, talking to myself now really. You can procedurally generate a texture and paint over the top. Yep, you bake that colour in basically and then paint over the top. You see that bled over here, didn't it? So sample that and then paint that out. You do have to watch out for that sort of thing. That sort of bleeding, and there's loads of it here. That's weird. It doesn't usually do that when it's down the side there, so I'm not sure why that happened, but that could be something a bit different about 2.82. I'm going to go to the that's looking a bit unusual. To my viewer node there, and sort those out. So the camera's probably wobbling a bit there as I push a little bit harder on my Wacom tablet. There's no real need to push hard, by the way. I had a student who really, they were working on one of the graphics tablets, and after they'd used it, it was battered to pieces. And I thought, whoa, that's overdoing it a bit. But some people just have that sort of technique, and I can't blame anybody for that. It's just one of those things. But I think it's better to develop a less aggressive pen push. Because it's just like my nib, I haven't changed it since I got this. That's because I brush lightly. I think it's because I brush lightly anyway. Or am I just a lazy artist? Comment with your thoughts. Okay, so how am I getting on? We're getting there. I mean, I'm going very slowly, really, and I'm just probably chatting away. If you want to play pixel art, it's a similar sort of process. Do you ever use the express keys on your Wacom? Yes, I do when I'm using it as a mobile studio, mobilely, when I've got it mobile, but otherwise no, because I've got my keyboard just there. Hang on, can I point that down there? You can't see that in webcam. It's off that way if you're looking at webcam. I notice I'm actually, no, that's all right. The webcam is a little bit tall though, isn't it? Oh, I'm pressing on the wrong bit to move it though. Let's move it up there. That will do. Right, now, for the straps, let's have a look at the straps and how they're going to work. They're going to be thick and chunky. I reckon they are, yeah. So let's come in here. Let's just do a few lines to start with the multiply brush. All the way through. And probably 4. But slightly wobbly. Hopefully that makes sense. I sort of have set words that I always use, and wobbly seems to be a popular one for me. And maybe just one sort of coming across here like this, and then one coming across the top there like that. Is that making sense? It's looking a bit weird though. That's probably right. It looks odd when it's mirrored, but we won't see the other side, so that's okay. Maybe because of that, I'll make it nice and clean. Just in case we wanted to use this somewhere else. Not sure why they would at Atlas Empires, but they might say, oh, that dagger's just so fantastic. We need it for such and such. At that point, I could bake out these textures and then unsymmetrify it. That's a word. That definitely is. Any ideas of making 1-minute tutorials? Actually, that's weird. I was just thinking today, it'd be really handy to have some short tips in certain areas, because people often ask me, how do I do this? And I think, oh, that's quite a quick one really, but it's within this tutorial that I've done, and I think it just needs to be a quick tip. And people appreciate that. I think it's nice to be able to find a quick tip sometimes, isn't it? Okay, so we've got this. I'm going to F and bring in a really sort of fine line now. So it's starting to get there. I am taking a long time over this. Sorry, it's taking so long. That back end looks a little bit weird as well, doesn't it? I really didn't know what I was doing with that shape. It's gonna look great in the end. I'm gonna sample that actually. I feel like I want to do something with it. Just increase the whites. Oh, multiply. None of that. No, we'll have mix. We'll have mix down here. Probably need to go sort of this angle. Oh, that's the problem, isn't it? That does not look good. I mean, obviously it's not going to be seen from this angle, but I don't want it not working at all from that angle. But I might have to, because it's just such bad topology. You see, that's where the topology matters, and I really should have had a better idea. And it may be, if this is really bad, then I may have to tidy up that topology and sort of re-unwrap. And then you have to sort of bake the textures, and it's a big pain actually. So don't do what I just did, which was rush into the painting. It's basically what happened. Okay, are we getting away with it? Yeah, we are from this sort of angle, so I'm gonna get away with it definitely. But that was poor show, Grant. Right now, I'm noticing it's not going. It probably needs to go across the yellows a little bit more and a bit more on the highlight for this gold. Let's see that reference image again. That was really great. How you paint gold. It's awesome. What are we doing for time? Oh, 10 minutes left. Yeah, I should increase the poly count, but I'm a bit late on the old poly count thing because I've already unwrapped. You can increase it. I could even subdivide it. I want to stick to the sort of polygon style though. I feel like that's keeping with the whole feeling of it. It's sort of an artistic thing. I don't know what I was saying, do I? Okay, so are we looking like gold yet? Not really. It's sort of getting there. Now we need probably a few dappled colours as well, as if there's some sort of, it's got a bit of warped light going on. My words aren't coming out. Warped light. You do get warped light in Star Trek. And I feel like I'm going to go a bit more sort of orangey around here. Sort of interesting colours coming out now. This would hit the light at the bottom here, wouldn't it? Hopefully I'm making sense. So the light comes down from here and it hits this section. So really this ought to be a bit more dark. So I'm going to S. Oh. Oh, had a crash there. Save my texture. Save, and I'll save the file again, but I'll just press save because I haven't really done anything extra special since a while. So S there, and make this a bit darker up the top here. Yeah, there we go. So because the light's coming here, this bit will sit under the light and this bit will hit the light. So let's sample this again. For some reason I press Alt S, and that's a sort of scale option, isn't it? Scale by the normals. So I was thinking Alt, because it's Alt to select a colour in Photoshop. The handle's it's sort of working, isn't it? Hopefully that sort of works. And you can sort of see the gold colour coming out, hopefully. I could probably go even more multipliedness in here. Darker is what I was sort of making a silly word up for it. And maybe even darker at the bottom. Just a touch. Can you see how warped that is? Look how strange it is, but then you come around to here and it's alright. And that is one of the difficulties of hand painting on really low poly objects. And you have to try and get that right. And that's bad topology from my point of view. I really should have had a thought about what on earth am I doing with this end piece. But we're going to see it from here, so that's all good. That is so bad. Disgraceful. Don't tell anybody. Just thought I'd see how many people are online. So all 280 of you, don't tell anybody. Very bad practice that was. So now I'm just prattling around really, having a bit of fun with the gold looking stuff here. I'm a bit disappointed with what I've done with the back there. I must admit I'm frustrated myself. Might have to sort of go back over that at some point and see what I did. Anyway, where were we? How much time is you get live going to last? Probably another 5 minutes really. I'll go up to 9 o'clock. Too much game with your mates, Corey, yes. Yeah, I'll clean it up a bit after the stream probably. But people probably want to see the painting aspect, I would have thought. Pelez, I hope you don't mind that I mentioned you in my video's description. No problem. Obviously send a link to the video. Let me see what you're doing. Okay, so where were we? Sample this. I'm still on multiply, so I'll just sort of gently. I have to be a bit gentle because it's been overlapping a bit, hasn't it? So gently filling in this sort of shading at the bottom here. Yeah, you can see it's just sort of a bit of a weird anomaly there. That's the one thing I feel like they really need to sort out in Blender, is the texture painting. because they've sorted it out in the sculpting, haven't they? That you've got the normal brush, as it's called, and sorry, brushing through by normals. Am I making sense? But basically, you know exactly where your brush is. But here, I don't know which surface it's on. Whereas the sculpt mode, it will sort of cling and change the angle of the brush, which is pretty cool. Erase alpha, you have to have an alpha channel and you have to have a new layer. So that's what the erase alpha is for. I think I've got a tutorial on that, and I think you can easily get to it from my website through the painting section. Keep meaning to update my website, and I'm not getting around to it. It's quite bad. Yes, lots of painting tutorials on my site. Yep. So for this blade, we need to get a bit sorted. So let's have a look. I'm going to look at my reference images. Yeah, they do such a great job, some of these artists. They're brilliant. Shall I use the screen? No, I'm going to use the mix and go really bright. So in fact, let's sample this colour first and see where we are. And I want to go nice and bright compared to that. And we want to sort of highlight this along here. Bit of a smaller brush. So this is the... Yeah, that will do fine. Let's cross there. Oh, that was poor though, wasn't it? Oh, thank you very much. Max Riquette, is that how you pronounce it? A bit late for the stream. We're going to rewatch it tomorrow. Looking forward to learn from your errors again. So I think you've mentioned that before, haven't you? Yeah. No, I appreciate that. The sort of vote of confidence as well that people give me is really nice. Saying, oh no, it's nice to see your errors and things like that, because it's quite nerve-wracking doing a live stream, because it's a performance, I suppose, isn't it, in a way? And I do have a sort of performance anxiety. I suppose everybody does, don't they? So no, I appreciate your comments there, Max. It's cool stuff. And thank you very much for the donation, of course. That's really good of you. I do love this. Okay, so we're getting a bit of an outline of where that blade's going to go. Can you notice I'm sort of dabbing on bits as if they're catching the light a bit more than others. I want a lot of light around here. I'm going to go down the edge as well. Get that edge so it's really cool. That's a very thick edge, this one. But that should be fine. Performed very well, thanks very much. I remember I used to play the piano. Well, still play the piano really. But it just sort of comes out at Christmas, you know. And doing my grade 3 exam. Oh dear, that was harsh. And after that I thought never do exam again. I was very young, but I burst into tears in the middle of it. Can you imagine? It was just so... Oh, I don't know why I got so nervous. The only other time I've been really nervous with sort of performance anxiety is when I was taking my driving test, actually. I found that really nerve-wracking. I think it's because it's so expensive. And I thought, I really don't want to have to do this again. That is sticking out loads now, isn't it? I really feel like I'm going to have to. Oh no, I can't GG there. I'm going to have to just... just a touch. You can do it. You can do minor adjustments like that, and you can probably get away with them. But be careful. I'm just painting this edge of the blade there. Oh yes, very dangerous. Just a little bit more, so it's coming across like that. So the light's coming a bit from underneath there, and obviously a bit from the top here. I think I just messed it up. Yep, that went too far across there. Obviously it's going to hit the top of the blade a little bit. My brush is too... what's going on with my brush there? Brush is too big. Will you give the gemstone some edges as well? No, it's going to be... It's more sort of pearly sort of thing rather than the gemstone. Because that's easier. Doesn't quite look right when I'm looking at it. It's behind me at the moment, isn't it? Looks a bit weird behind me. But it's not quite looking right looking back on it. And I'll certainly have to do that. I'll have to come back to this and sort of reevaluate what I've done. I have to do that with all my models, sort of take a break and see how you're getting on and stuff. I feel like we need some sort of elaborate thing happening on here, don't we? So that's the last thing I'll do today because it is 9 o'clock already. So I'll just show you how you can do that. So let's sample a color here and just make it darker. So somewhere around there. And let's get some sort of interesting. Is that making sense? Oh no, I did that. Did that slightly wrong in my head. Let's think a bit more about this. Right. I mean, there is actually. I'm just going to do that, and I'll show you one other tool, which is really useful. Stroke, and then down here you've got stabilize stroke. It can be a little bit over the top though, so the default factor, I think it's the factor. Rarely use this, to be fair. I'm going to undo that one as well and start from the very edge here. Whoa, that lagged loads. So that input samples, I think you have to put up if it lags. So let's try that again. I think it's input samples, isn't it? Oh, it's just not going to work. Probably because I'm streaming and stuff as well, but I've never found it that bad before. Anyway, let's go to side view and just try it by eye. I'm thinking what I want, so probably something like this. Nope. Spam that undo button. And getting there. God, that's looking dreadful, isn't it? Maybe if I have some coming out here as well. That might work. Sort of weird curvature lines like this is what I was thinking anyway. Thought it would work, but maybe a bit of rust too. Yeah, definitely. My Nike logo. Yeah, that's it. That is exactly it, isn't it? So sample this color to get rid of. So it's sort of like an eraser then, isn't it? Okay, it's sort of working, right. I probably should have gone a little bit sharper. Not sharper, what do you call it? Stronger. Oh, I've got the wrong color though. Sample that. And a little bit darker. Maybe it needs to probably curl in a bit more. I'm looking at my reference image now. They've got a cool one on there. I'm trying not to copy it, obviously. I don't want to do it exactly the same as theirs. So basically what I will do with this now is start again. Yeah, it'll probably work when I get going with this, right. Let's sample that and put the strength up so we can rub this out. Make my brush a bit bigger. It's my sort of rubber technique there, you can see. How are we doing? What have we got? Is this a personal project? This is for Atlas Empires. I think I've got it. Yeah, so the ticker tape across the bottom there, ticker tape we call it. Is that the right word for it? Explains a bit, but Atlas Empires, so they employed me a while ago to do a few things for them, well, lots of things for them, and they're just coming back to me with a few things that will help them out. Icons and stuff. What am I trying to do here? I need to get the palette going a bit more, so let's actually sample that and get it on the palette. Am I on? Yep, so let's put that up to full strength. Just fill this in with the colour. That's a bit dark. That's the only problem. Oh, kill dear. There we go. That's the colour I'm after. Let's zoom in a bit on this. So that is the only problem, is that I've not got anything to sort of guide me, so it's the more detail you add, the more tricky it is. I don't think I made any sense there at all, did I? But anyway, fill it in like this. That's what I'm trying to say. Just fill it in. I can be a little bit rough at this point and overlap a tiny bit because I've got to do a highlight around here as well. Let's bring the brush down. Nickname would be Stoke Ticker. Is that what these things called? Across the bottom there? Or is that something else entirely? Right. Around here. And up and around here. So you can sort of see it. Oh no, it's behind me. You can see this sort of snake thing behind me there. But that's not very helpful. I suppose I should have swapped these two around. You don't really need to see this one much. But it doesn't matter to see that. Thanks to all those people who've joined me today. I hope you are enjoying my live streams as much as I am. I can't help but love doing it. There's something about it that helps me to focus and get on with a certain project and not think about other things at the same time. It's got so many projects on at the moment, it's hard to decide which one to do. And this one, because Atlas Empire has been fantastic to me, sort of supported me in my art in a sense, really. Obviously, I'm doing stuff for them as well, but it gave me that opportunity. I want to do my best for them. And so they take a bit of priority in that sense. And I know they're sort of hitting their crunch time in terms of the game coming out, or the second stage of the game, or whatever it is. I don't know, beta, not, whatever you call it, is coming out. It's supposed to be this. It was supposed to be around now. So the fact they're still asking me for work, and I'm sort of 2 steps down the line of it, really. So they probably need this pretty desperately. So I thought, right, I'll just quickly do a live stream tonight, see if anybody actually wants to watch this rubbish. Okay, so I'm sort of highlighting it with this darker colour. So it's going to be indented, and this is the last bit I'll do today. That's not a particularly good curve there, is it? Let's come up around here. Yeah, that's okay. And I'm just going to sample this so we can get that curve a bit smoother. So it looks like I'm using a rubber in a sense, doesn't it? But I'm just sampling the colour beneath it. And it makes it sort of rub out in a sense. Okay, so that looks a bit better. That's all right from this sort of distance. Please say yes. So let's sample that again. Just tidy up a tiny bit around here. It's important that we get it all coloured in before we do any sort of highlights. How are we looking? Not sure why that was not allowed through. Just seeing what the questions are. So anyway, to paint specular and normal maps on Blender, not particularly well. You can paint bump maps in. Specular I don't know much about. I would have thought you'd want to paint roughness rather than specular, because that's a more modern way of using physically based rendering. You can paint both of them. You have to paint a bump, not a normal map though. That's the only thing. Oh, I just went weird there, sorry about that. So in here, we've got to think, once again, the light's coming from the top here. You can. I'm pointing onto the tablet, and that's not going to make sense. The top here like this. You can probably see it on my webcam, which is up there. There we go. There's a mirror image there. It fooled me. Anyway, so the light's going to catch it here, and darker under there to create that sense of depth. So let's have a go at that. Let's do the darkness first. Right, so make the brush fairly small here, and watch the strength. It's maybe somewhere around there to start with. Ooh. And I'm going to zoom in a bit. I'm trying to keep it zoomed out because then you see the effect of it all at once, but that's going to come around there like that. And we're going to get senses of it around here as well, underneath there, underneath here. Yep, so I'm just thinking, is it underneath it? Underneath here. Oh, that didn't go so well. Okay, so can you see that already looks a little bit like it's got a bit of depth? A little bit. And in here, just a bit under there. And then under here. So just that dark sense around here. Dark sense? Shadow. That's what I'm trying to call it. The dark sense. I sense a darkness in this blade. So what do you think? Who is this blade used by? Is it a pirate, perhaps? So just having a look around, where else might we see some shadows? So that's most of the shadows. These are the lights coming down that way, and then we're going to see highlights as well, aren't we? I knew a guy who was late 20s, fully grey, in their 20s. Wow. Hopefully people aren't commenting on my grey hair, because I haven't gotten it. It's the light, honestly. Okay, so highlights now. Let's go to the screen. Bring it up a little bit. A little bit is what I'm trying to say there. My voice is starting to go a little bit strange. Just a few highlights every now and again along here, as if it's caught the light, but generally this side is where it's going to catch the light the most. So just there, especially up here. Oh, a little bit wibbly wobbly. Just there, underneath here. And can you see it's got that bit of depth? Oh, it's looking cool. Of course I'd say that. And in here. Nice. I'm saying nice, nice. Good work, Grant. Just having fun. We aren't commenting on your hair. Looks fabulous, dear. Thanks very much, Red Elixir. Yes. I went grey fairly. How old am I? It was I was 42 2 days ago. Yeah, 15th is my birthday. So yeah, grey hair is affecting me, but I'm kind of happy that I have lots of hair. But I do feel like it's thinning out just at the top there a little bit. I can just sort of feel that thinness to it. I used to have quite thick hair, you see, so I do slightly worry about that, because at one point I did just shave my hair off because didn't really care, but I sort of like the way it looks. I'm sort of happy with how it looks. Your birthday's on the 16th, Manic Millennial. Cool. I found that the other day. I was chatting to Curtis Holt. If you haven't seen his channel, check it out. And his birthday is just a few days ago as well. I didn't say exactly when it was, but he was sort of in our Blend and Est group, the podcast. Now, it's going to occasionally grab a few highlights here and there, but we can see a depth to that now, and it looks kind of cool, actually. I thought that was going to look shocking when I first started that. Oh, thank you. I don't look 42 at all. Exactly that tone time. Corey S., you're 45. Not much grey. Lucky you. Not that grey's that bad. It's a good thing. As you can see, it's a good thing. Oh dear, my beard looks slightly gingerish in this slide. Definitely isn't ginger. Not that there's anything wrong with the ginger beard, but it looks like kind of yellowy. And that's right. You always enjoy things in life. I will always be able to play piano and guitar. That's the way, isn't it, Christone? Well, so I'm the oldest here. Milan Caracas. How old are people then? You're 57. Youngest so far at 16, Thomas Aigner. I'm the same age as your parents. I hate it when people say that gaming didn't just die, it was murdered. I have ginger beard syndrome. I don't know, it does look a little bit, doesn't it? That's funny. Age is just a number. You're as old as you feel. I do totally agree with that. It's kind of a bit cheesy, isn't it? Old as you feel, but that's certainly true. I really feel that. So I thought I'd do that last bit because that was a bit of fun for me, really, to do a highlight. You shouldn't really do your highlights that early on, but, well, not that it's that bad, but I'll do a few more of those down there in a moment. Anyway, where are we? Ages. So I think you're still ahead. Who was it again? I'm losing track. Close, Louis Guerra. Yes, it was Milan Caracas, wasn't it? But I can't remember how old you said you were. 57, that was it. So 57, I think, is the winner. 57. Any more at any advance? Audience of all ages. Great, isn't it? Your grandfather didn't have a single grey hair at 85. That's quite cool, isn't it? So you'll probably do well there, won't you? 57. Oh, it's they're drawing. There's going to be a fight in a minute between Jeff and Milan. 21. Oh, 58 next month. There we go. You've won, Joff. You've won the race to be the oldest. 16th is the youngest. Anyway, I think for me that's going to have to do. I know we didn't get anywhere near finishing, and there's a fair bit to go. I'm having fun doing the live stream, so maybe I'll continue this tomorrow, depending on timings and stuff. It'll probably be a lot earlier though if I do one tomorrow. Yes, I think that's a good place to leave it. We are all young-minded, hopefully not too young-minded, and we've got some maturity in us. Anyway, so yep, any questions, then do leave them in the comments. Oh, I notice a glitch there. But yeah, let me know what you think and any thoughts you have for the continuation of the dagger. Obviously, it's got to go on into a little background, as you can see with our little icon there. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. So thank you very much for joining me. Any other questions at all before I go? Thanks very much, Christone. People still talking about grey hairs. Young-minded but wise. I think that's a good one. 3PO. One question. When will your next live stream be? Yeah, that's the problem. I just don't know at the moment. I'm kind of doing them on an ad hoc basis. I'll definitely do them on Friday afternoon between 4 and 6. That's going to be my regular slot. But I might do a few here and there in between when I sort of find a moment. So like tonight was an example of that. I just thought, right, I've got to get on with some work. Why not do a live stream as well? It does slow me down a bit because I'm chatting away, but it's nice. This sort of work's not too bad because I tend to get in the flow whilst chatting. Other work where I've got to think, like hard surface modelling or something where you're really thinking mathematically and stuff, that's a bit harder. But anyway, yeah, so possibly tomorrow, a bit early on, about 4 o'clock, but I haven't really decided yet. But definitely on Friday afternoon. Probably continue the character modelling on Friday. I will post up a picture on the thumbnail probably about the dagger and the finished result. So if you're seeing a different dagger on the front cover, you get the idea. That's the finished result. Would people like to see the rest as a live stream, or are you happy for me to sort of finish this, move on to something else, get back to the character as the title alluded to today? Let me know in the comments below if you don't get a chance now. So there we go. It was you, Red Elixir, was it, who started the white hair topic? Animals, animating or rigging. Yeah, well, I might well move on to that. At the moment, if people are happy for me in my freelance work to show my work as a live stream, then generally I'm talking about that because I'm able to do both at the same time. Because I'm enjoying the freelance and enjoying the live stream, so doing a bit of both is great. Thanks very much, Milan, again, for your donation, and who was it? Chance McDonald as well. Really appreciated. I think there was another couple as well. Sorry, it doesn't keep them on here. It should keep them at the top so I can keep saying these people, but I really do appreciate that for all the support, and anybody who watched an advert for me, appreciate that as well. A tutorial on clothes is what I need to do, isn't it? Yeah. There's been a few updates to clothing or the cloth simulator. So I thought I'd look into that a bit first before doing a full tutorial on that. With the character model, I'll certainly be doing some sculpting of the clothing and things. So yeah. Thank you, Ronel Torres. I'm your idol. Anyway, so I'm going to leave it there. Something else for next stream, maybe freelance stuff would be cool. So if you've got any questions about freelance things, I've still got, we've got the competition deadline as well coming up next week, so I'll do a competition stream. So if you want to get involved with that, then get across to the Discord server, and you want to chat to me, Discord server's the easiest place for me. Okay, thank you, Louis, Red Elixir, Oh, is it for 2.83? Is it the cloth thing? Oh, I didn't realise that. Thanks, Red Alexia, for letting me know. Anyway, so thank you very much once again, and I will see you all next time. Yeah, happy blending to you all.